What's up, y'all? I wanted to go over this really quick. This is just a little record of how I keep track of my internship hours. It's something called Core that we use to help keep track, and it has all the forms that we needed when we were trying to set up our field placement. Everything was listed here. We got all our forms from electronic forms, and everything was kept up in weekly documentation and all of that. But now this is hours tracking, where we will be recording our hours weekly. I've already put mine in here. Let me, because my mouse is acting a little stupid. It's doing all this weird stuff. So I'm just gonna use my fingers from now, and then I'll restart my computer. But yeah, right now, I have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in here. 8 hours. I do 9 to 5, and I only do 3 days out of the week. The only reason there's an extra hour on Mondays because after we do our internship, our field placement hours, the dogs are at the door. Just ignore them. But after we do that, then I go home and I have to be on a virtual Teams meeting with my class where we pretty much discuss, whatever regarding the internship and how our week has gone or the prior week has gone. So I actually think that's 2 hours. If it's 2 hours, it needs to be 10. So that's even better. But either way, I'll fix it later. I will show you how one of them looks. Which one do I want to go? What's the best example? Let's see. Let's do Wednesday. Oh, let's see if I can make that big. Okay. So it's got here the date that this is due, the time frame of my internship overall from August 18th to, oh no, this is just the week, August 18th to the 20th, which was Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Overall, my internship goes from August 18th to December 12th. The hours submitted for just this day was 8, and this is Wednesday, I think, that I chose. Leon Otters, Austin Wilkes Society, that's where I do my internship. I guess I snitched on myself, so there it is. Generalist field experience. So if you go down, oh no, this is Tuesday I chose. I have 2 observation hours for, it's the first week, so I'm doing more observation than anything. And I set in on, them having a couple of meetings and introducing me to the clients, or the veterans, I should say. I was trying to build some rapport with them, getting to know them, so I'd say I'd give that about 2 hours. Here, the contact assessment, I did sit in on a couple of assessments, some intakes, and I would say I set in on about 3 of them. I rounded that up to about a good 3 hours. I don't like to make things harder than what I have to. So even if it was just 45, 50 minutes, I'm rounding that up to an hour. Y'all not about to stress me, okay? There was none here. Then there's supervision hours. There's times where I sat with Miss Leanne, and she had very detailed conversations with me about just policies and the proper way to do this and that. And she even gave me a few assignments on what I would be doing. She showed me on PowerPoint how to find certain documents in their Google Docs, and just important stuff. She also went over some personal talks with me about some issues that they were having in the agency, where they will have to call meetings and figure out why certain branches of the agency aren't working together, the real world issues and stuff. So she was telling me basically how to handle those matters, because in social work, things like that go down. It's the part of social work that's very, very rarely talked about, I should say. But it's a bit of supervision. So I gave that 2 hours, okay? Indirect hours 1, which is meetings. Indirect is when you're really not face-to-face with clients. You can call a lot of that indirect, honestly. But we had a staff meeting that I sat in on today. It was called a treatment team meeting, where the VA license, or the VA case manager, I should say, came in and met with us regarding the veterans and what they needed to do VA-wise. And I think that really is honestly about it. It's pending, meaning if I did anything wrong, they're going to tell me what to fix, right? And I got a feeling it might get pushed back. I'm not sure, because there's probably an area where they want to know exactly more details on what all of these hours were. Maybe I have to describe exactly what I did. I didn't see an area where we put that, but just in case they do, everything I'm explaining in this video is practically what I'm going to put down. with a little more detail, of course. But that's really the gist of it. I'm trying to like do this while looking at the camera, so bear with me. And this is just one day. So I think, I forget, oh, I want to tell y'all, I don't want to get it wrong. We have to, what is it, 400 hours? I hope I'm not getting mixed up with the advanced field placement, but I think we have to do about a total of 200 to 400 hours. I'm not gonna give y'all an exact number because I know I'm probably wrong. But in the midst of that 200 to 400 hours, like 25% of it has to be actual direct contact of us working with the clients one-on-one. And so starting next week, she did say she would let me run a group, and that would probably be some facilitation. Notice it has here co-facilitation hours and facilitation hours. Of course, I was not direct contact with any of them or facilitating anything, so I was just observing. That's why you see a number of hours for observation. But when I run this group next week, if I'm running it by myself, I'll be the facilitator, and that'll be some facilitation hours. If I'm running it with the assistant of someone, I'm sure I'll be the co-facilitator, and there'll be some co-facilitation hours there. So it's really easy peasy lemon squeezy, I must say. I thought it would be a little harder than this, but you know, like I said, we tend to overthink everything. But once you actually start getting your hands and feet dirty and doing some things, you realize it's not as hard as you thought it was. But I will keep y'all up to date on how the rest of my field placement is going. And yeah, wish me luck.